buckle up because we've got to talk about some bad news, in my opinion. We got to talk about some bad news, kind of annoying. Just the other day, Gavin was telling me, oh, I don't want to I don't want to be too hard on Cornel West for the changes that he's making in his campaign. Obviously, like he listened to the feedback of everybody and he left, Nick Brennan and the People's Party. And I was like, yeah, it still doesn't look great, whatever. I support the guy, 5%, whatever. Now, I wake up again. This is second morning again. Shout out to Griffin, bro. We don't even pay this guy to be our producer. This is second morning I've woken up to a ping from Griffin where he's just like brought me breaking news. I'm like, holy shit, Griffin. I owe you like a couple beers or some tacos or something. You've been like, I wake up and it's like 10:15 and Griffin's, yeah, he sent me this and I was like, all right, let's see what's up with this. This looks like a relatively innocuous Cornel West video. Like, this seems like I'm scanning over it. I'm like, this is what he says. This is all canon for sure. And then I see I'm running as an independent candidate for president of the United States. And I'm just like, Jesus Christ, Cornel West, what the like, come on, man. This is how you just like, it's ridiculous. Like third time, I was like, are you kidding me, man? Like maybe third time's the charm, but I doubt it. And also now I'm really less interested because like one of the big selling points for me was like feeling like, oh, you can give your vote meaning by voting for the Green Party and giving them to 5% in any state. And now he's running as an independent and he has no chance of winning. And I'm just like, bro, like you have every right to run. And I might even vote for you because I hate the other candidates way more. And I do agree with you on your platform, but it's like, it's less inspiring now. What are we building towards? Like, this feels like it's deflating me. And if it's deflating me, you got to wonder who else is going to be like, well, that seems relatively pointless now. Like the whole point was to run and build the Green Party to build up. Like now it's just going to be like exactly what happened with Bernie. Like, okay, whatever you build just is going to dissipate, right? It's like the tide reclaiming a fucking sandcastle. Like just like last time,
yeah,
disappointed.
Yeah, dude, I don't know what to make of this, to be honest. This is just weird to me. So as you guys know, we've been following Dr. Cornel West's campaign from the beginning. He originally launched as a People's Party candidate running, against the duopoly. Then like a couple weeks later, he switched to the Green Party and made a big announcement, came out with Jill Stein, talked about how he's going to be seeking the nomination of the Green Party and participating in their nominating process. I saw someone earlier in the show in chat being like, yeah, I wasted a bunch of money, donating to the Green Party and volunteering and trying to get them ballot access because I was so inspired by Cornel West. And that was all kind of for naught now because he's just bailing on them. Which I don't know, man. Like, I guess I could understand a case for being an independent candidate instead of a Green Party candidate. There are a couple things which I understand, like maybe your average American might be more inclined to vote for a independent candidate than a Green Party candidate. Like we've talked about how some people might think that the Green Party is just a bunch of like dirty hippies or environmentalists or something, but that's like basically it. I'm like, maybe you could convince more people to vote for an independent candidate than a Green Party candidate, but all the other cons seem to outweigh the pros, in my opinion, specifically the fact that the Green Party already has ballot access. It already has ballot access in like 44 to 46 states, I believe. And to me, that was the number one reason why it was important for Cornel West to switch over to the Green Party in the first place, because the People's Party had no ballot access, of course. And the Green Party does. They at least have that like bare bones, basic level infrastructure to make this campaign like theoretically successful. Now going to an independent campaign, now like from what I understand, I don't have obviously a lot of experience or any experience running independent campaigns for president, but from what I understand, that means that now the Cornel West campaign on its own independently is going to have to like secure ballot access in all 50 states. They don't have a party organization like the Greens to already have that work completed. And I just don't see how that's in any way good for the campaign. Now you have to take on all this extra work of getting ballot access when beforehand the Green Party kind of would have just taken care of that. That's from what I understand. If someone wants to like correct me, I'm open to that. But from what I understand, he's going to have a much harder time now receiving ballot access, which actually led Ryan Grimm to tweet. Let me find this real quick because I thought this was an interesting perspective. Ryan Grimm said, Cornel West, after leaving the People's Party, is now leaving the Green Party, pledging to run as an independent. Probably good news for the Democrats, as he's unlikely to be on the ballot in some states. So not only do we have this issue that you mentioned, Zach, where it's like, without the Green Party, what exactly is being built here? What movement is really being built here outside of your independent campaign? But also, this might not even be as big of a threat to the duopoly as it was going to be as a Green Party campaign because of this fact. He might not even have as much ballot access, so it might not even genuinely be as much of a threat to the duopoly. I just don't get this.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are making the case that in some states it's easier to run as an independent, in the states particularly perhaps where the Green Party doesn't have ballot access, because if you're running as an independent, I think it's just a matter of like collecting ballot signatures or like petition signatures from people in order to like generate enough access on the to get on the ballot, right, as an independent, which typically, if you have the manpower to do, is easier than any of the like bureaucratic messes that you would have to do as like a party to get through it, especially because they've made it so difficult. I mean, particularly in states like Arizona, to get that ballot access as a third party. I think it's Arizona that I was reading about anyway. So I see that people are saying that, but yeah, I mean, if there's already 40 some odd states that the Green Party has ballot access, I would just imagine that shoring up support in those last ones. And also, if you already have states like California and Texas, like the sheer number of population in those states, you could even just campaign there and do write-in wherever you're not available and just try to get to that 5%. Now that there's no goal to get to 5%, like what the fuck does it matter to me if he gets 14% or 18% or 21%, right? He's not getting any electoral college votes. Like, what are we building towards? Like this, honestly, this makes me shrug my shoulders and say like, oh, I don't feel inspired by this move. Like, what do we have to gain now? Now it just feels like pissing in the wind a little bit. And I'm not saying that he doesn't have any right to do it. I'm not calling him a spoiler. I don't give a fuck what he does. I didn't give a fuck when RFKJ said that he was going to run as an independent, right? Everybody has a right to run. Like I said, I might even vote for him, but I don't think I'll really see the purpose in it. Like, what am I accomplishing by casting a vote for Cornel West other than a protest vote, right? Like how at this point is voting for him any different than it was when you voted for Howie Hawkins? Now, I'm not judging you for voting for Howie Hawkins, but I don't think it was your most like fucking proud moment in the ballot box. And obviously maybe it's more like a personal thing if it's like, oh, it's nice to vote for somebody who actually has a conscience like Cornel West, but I don't think it's going to be anything like casting a vote for somebody you hope to win. You know what I mean? That's what's fucked up about this, guys, is that we all thought we were finally going to get to go to the ballot box and have our vote matter. Feel like we were even in our marginal way, just as lefties who never get to do that. Like I never even got like in 2020, we never even got to really vote in the primary for Bernie Sanders. He dropped out too soon. You know what I mean? Yeah, like it was over before it even felt like we got to participate and at least have that like closure, if you will. We didn't even get to really feel like we felt he just dropped out. Biden was the guy. Now the next time you get to vote, it's Donald Trump or Joe Biden. Like what? And now it feels like the next time we get to vote, it's going to be Donald Trump, Joe Biden, or Cornel West, except Cornel West isn't going to win. And after we do vote and Donald Trump or Joe Biden wins, it's like, well, what was the point of all of that? Like, how is he going to fundraise? It's so expensive to run an independent campaign. What's he selling people? He's selling people an alternative. But I think now at this point, there's no realistic goal. So it just feels pointless.
Yeah, dude, I kind of totally agree with you, man. Like, I mean, we live in Missouri, so there's still a good chance I'll vote for Dr. West if he's on the ballot, just because, like, why the fuck does it really matter who I vote for? I live in Missouri, but I totally agree. It doesn't really feel like there's any point anymore because I don't think that Cornel West is going to win. And now, like you said, Zach, even if he gets 5%, even if he gets 10%, okay, who cares? Like, is he going to start a new third party? Is that the plan? Because if not, then what's even the point of trying to get to 5%? Because then the federal matching funds thing doesn't really matter anymore. I don't think it's like if you run independent and get 5%, but you're unaffiliated with the party, it's not like you just get that money. It's not like the fucking government just infuses you with that money into your bank account or something. And West is saying that he's going to remain unaffiliated. He's not planning on building a new third party. I actually just checked his little message from the campaign. He says, I want to, be completely unaffiliated from a party. So there is no movement being built here, which, that's what really pains me about this is because, like, yes, I love Dr. West. I would love Dr. West to be president, but unfortunately we both know that's not going to happen. So what is this about? It's about building a movement. It's about building up the Green Party into a more viable third party, a third party that can actually succeed at a local level, that can actually run more candidates all across the country and participate in presidential elections. That's what this was always about. Again, as much as I admire and respect Dr. West, it's not really about him. Like I said, he's not going to become president regardless. Unfortunately, it was about the movement. It was about making the Green Party viable. At least for me, that was why I thought it was worth voting and supporting Dr. West. And now it's just like, I don't know, man. And I've been increasingly frustrated with the whole third party movement for a while now, basically ever since 2020, when the Green Party, debacle with Howie Hawkins went down, and they kind of turned up their nose at Jesse Ventura, who was another candidate that I thought could have got them to 5%. They didn't, they thought they were too pure for Jesse. So we got Howie Hawkins instead, who I dutifully voted for anyway, only for him to get a fraction of a percent or whatever. It's just embarrassing. And it's like, at what point are you going to get your shit together? Because you can't keep asking people to vote for candidates who aren't going to win if you don't have any fucking plan. And if every time anyone remotely interesting and with any sort of clout wants to get involved, they instantly either get repelled or decide to leave. It's weird. And the Jesse thing was a little bit different. I get it. He didn't want to participate in the primary, so they had a more valid reason for not wanting to make him their nominee. But I just don't understand what was so dysfunctional behind the scenes with the Green Party that made Cornel West say, got to get the fuck out of here too. Not only did I have to leave the People's Party, but now I have to leave the Green Party. That tells me that there must have been some serious dysfunction that he was looking at behind the scenes. What?
There was a problem with the Cornel West campaign, right? And that was an error in judgment the first time, and then the second time around. That's what's the problem here, guys. Is that this is the third one. All right, okay, I can look past the incredible fucking lack of, I don't know, research that he did into Nick Brana, or maybe I can excuse the fact that he just got completely swindled by a con artist, but that's not exactly what you want from your fucking presidential candidate. But I would put that aside. I was like, you know what? His clout, his, pedigree, all this stuff. Of course, he's going to make a kind of a guy that can get to 5%. But again, now just abandoning this, I don't understand it. It's not a clear message to voters. To be honest, this is a lot of platitudes in this message right here. People are hungry for change. They want good policies over partisan politics. He's basically saying he supports good things and opposes bad things, and just more colorful, catering to lefty language right here. He's not giving a clear message on what he's going to do. If you go to his campaign website, you still don't see the robust policy section that we've come to expect from progressive candidates, right? This is all a problem. His platform is there, but it's it's thin, right? This is just a list of words. How are you going to get it done? What, you know what I mean? This is just stuff that's there to satisfy the online left. And this cannot be an election which is about the online left. And I say that as a firm member of it, an entrenched member of it. That's not how you win elections. Okay. And that's just what this feels like to me. And to be honest, I'm getting cold on it, man. I'm it doesn't seem like a winner to me. It seems like, wow, even the best thing, the left just cannot have one nice thing. We can't have one nice thing. And I just have to come out here and call balls and strikes for you guys. This is it. This ain't it. It's not it.
Oh, I agree, bro. I'm not in the interest of.
Oh, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about
No, I agree. I'm just saying, as much as I want to be enthusiastically pro Cornel West and do a positive spin on this, I just can't. There is no positive spin. I think it's deeply frustrating. And again, I feel just like in 2020 with the Jesse Ventura situation, it's now once again, the third party movement has completely squandered any opportunity it had to be relevant, to actually get to 5%. And it's just I really want to keep holding it down as the fucking purist. I only vote third party in every election I've ever voted in. I want to keep being that guy, man. But I'm what the fuck, bro? Get your shit together at some point. There's nothing to there's no ball to move forward almost. It feels like this is just becoming a Sisyphusian task or something. I don't just want to perpetually get fucking 1%. And it's so defeating to see the third party movement constantly shoot itself in the fucking foot. And every time there's a decent candidate who could potentially actually make the third party movement a real movement, this shit happens. And again, I don't know specifically what happens. I don't know if it was a problem with the Green Party or a problem with the Cornel West campaign or both. But again, I'll say it a million times. Zac and I have always fantasized about someone with as much clout and with as much credibility as Dr. West, kind of giving his clout to the Green Party, letting them use his name recognition and profile and all that stuff to get to 5% and actually spark a movement, ignite a serious political movement. And it seems like we were about to have that, and it slipped through our fingers once again. And it's just like, what the fuck? If they can't make it work with Cornel West, then like, what the fuck is even the point of continuing with the Green Party? At least maybe there'll be another third party that comes up and is able to be a little bit more serious. But damn, it's just like, if you guys can't make Cornel West a thing, then what the fuck is even the point of you existing? Like, I'm sorry. And also, I'm thinking about our comrade from earlier in the chat talking about how they donated a bunch of time and money to the Green Party in hopes of getting Cornel West elected, only now to feel betrayed. And I'm just like, what is the fucking point of this, bro? How many times
I see a dark Brandon rising. I see trouble on the way. I see earthquakes and lightning. I see bad times today. Don't go around tonight. And at the clinic you'll die. There's a Biden on the rise. Bro, seriously, I think that if I were Dark Brandon right now, I'd be like, whew. I honestly, I think that Cornel West actually does worse as an independent than as a Green Party candidate. I think that's going to be my bold prediction. That doesn't bring me joy. I know I know that I've been branded a Biden bro at this point by some of our audience. That's fine. Just hilarious.
A dark Brandon acolyte.
A dark Brandon, right? A dark Brandon's rising. No. But I think that RFK has a better chance of taking a bite out of Trump, like in combination with whatever libertarian candidate they spit out, than Cornel West as an independent takes from Joe Biden. Maybe Peter Dow had planned this all along. Galaxy Brain Mags over here. That's funny.
Yeah, I totally agree. Speaking of the Green Party, let's check up on Dr. Stein. She says, breaking: Stein and Baraka wish Dr. West well, affirm support for a strong Green campaign. Jill Stein and Ajamu Baraka, previously advisors to the West campaign, today wished Cornel West well in his upcoming independent presidential campaign in the following joint statement. As colleagues who have helped persuade Dr. West to pursue the Green nomination, we appreciate the good faith effort he has made over the past 4 months. Running solo, however, may better suit his long-standing role as a fiercely independent voice of moral authority. While we share Dr. West's formidable commitment to peace and justice, we are respectfully parting ways at this juncture, as we are committed to building an independent people-powered party as an indispensable vehicle for challenging empire and oligarchy for the long haul. In light of Dr. West's decision to run independently, we are in discussion with several former candidates about potentially entering the race to carry the Green Party's anti-war, pro-worker, climate emergency agenda into this critical election. So, yeah, they're going back to their bench and getting some former candidates. So I guess that means Howie Hawkins again. Hopefully not Cynthia McKinney.
Cynthia McKinney and Kanye West 2024. RFKJ.
But again, like you guys know that I really respect the hard work of Green Party volunteers all around the country. In no way am I trying to mock them or minimize the hard work that they do. I think those people are heroes to be honest, but this is unserious. This is unserious. You're going to run you're talking to several former candidates, several of the former candidates, which got 1.2%. Like, I'm sorry, but what's the point? What's the point? What is the point of continuing to ask people to vote for these candidates that can't even succeed at the modest 5% goal, which is constantly put out as the threshold for success? Like, if you can't retain Cornel West, if you can't, if Jesse Ventura, you're too pure for him, and all you have is this thin bench of losers, like, let's be honest, losers. I'm sorry, but I'm just increasingly pessimistic about this whole project. And again, it's already a tough ask to tell Americans to vote for someone who's not going to win an election. I think it's important that they at least nominate someone who's inspiring, and for them to just be going back to fucking Howie Hawkins or whoever, I don't know, man. It's just annoying.
Yeah, it was quite a pump fake, man. It was quite a moment in the sun when we thought that there was an actual potential of something exciting to get behind from a third party perspective. And it does bum me out that Cornel, like, I don't want to write off Cornel West's 2024 run, but I don't see the point anymore. I'm trying really hard to think of some way that, like, this is being galaxy brained, like the Green Party's so terrible they were standing in the way. But it's like, bro, you should have figured that out again. You should have ironed that out before he announced that he was going to be participating in the Green Party primary. The other thing is that he does kind of put himself in the position of looking like, okay, well, RFK, Jay decided to run as an independent, and he's going to announce his independent run on Saturday or something like that. And now, okay, now I'm running independent too. It just allows himself to be part of the same talking point of RFK-Jay when his politics are so different, but he's going to continue to be portrayed as like a fringe lunatic candidate because of that. I don't know. I just think it's all bad planning. I think it's all bad advising. I'm not happy with the way that he's taken this campaign. Not that anybody asked for my 2 fucking cents. However, I think that it's going to prove to be a bit of a doozy.
Yeah, dude. It's a real bummer, man. It's a real bummer. I don't really know what the hell is going on at this point. But yeah, we'll keep bringing you guys details. The one thing that I will say annoys me, the last thing I'll say about this before we move on that annoys me is, like, can we at least get an actual reason why? Can you at least explain what happened? Like, I hate these vague statements like, we have decided that it's better for Cornel West to remain unaffiliated because he's a fierce independent spirit or whatever. Like, no, what happened? You said you were running as a Green Party candidate. You said you were seeking their nomination. Thousands of people donated to the Green Party and volunteered for the Green Party to make that a reality. And now no explanation at all. It's just like, well, trying this now. Like, can you at least let us, like, just for the sake of transparency, can you at least tell us what the issue is so we know, like, if it's worth our time to keep volunteering for the Green Party? Because if it really is so dysfunctional that you couldn't even operate within it, then we should know that. Like, we should know that as potential third-party voters. Is the Green Party a complete fucking shit show behind the scenes? Is it a total mess? Should we not support it? Is it worth supporting? We're left with all these questions and no insight into what has happened.
Because it could be the Cornel West campaign that's the shit show behind the scenes.
That's also very possible. And again, that's why I wish we had some answers, because I don't know if we should blame the Green Party. I know I've been really down on them, and I've been kind of poo-pooing their efforts. But maybe it's not their fault. Maybe they did everything they possibly could do, and his campaign was just so dysfunctional and he couldn't make up his mind, and he's all over the place. And, I mean, clearly he wasn't even planning on running in the first place. Nick Brana gave him a call and said, hey, bro, want to run for president? And I guess a light switch went off in his mind that he's still going with, but, like, clearly there was never any actual plan. And I think that's all just becoming very apparent.